So in this video, you're going to find out why Dubai right now is the best place for Airbnb co-hosting. You will also really need to understand why you don't have to live here right now in Dubai to be able to do that, and why you need to have these 3 systems in places to leverage this business model right now in 2025. So guys, if you're new to this channel, my name is Piers BK. Now I've been in the industry nearly 6 years. I've seen a lot of changes. We've saved a lot of businesses from shutting down just because people don't understand the most important part of how operation of an Airbnb business is actually getting those bookings in. Because if you've got the money, you can go and spend money and make some lovely properties set up ready to go. But if you can't understand how to get bookings, which is where right now in Dubai you've got Airbnb owners buying properties. These are landlords who's got money to buy property, but then they quickly realize that either they'll have to go and find a tenant, and that's a lot of problem.
Where are they?
Or places like Dubai right now, you will be able to really leverage Airbnb as a model of renting. However, the owners need co-hosting people like you. So let's go into this video. I'm really excited. Right now I'm sat here, very sunny Dubai, actually with a lovely view of Burj in the back, and I wanted to make sure that I showcase you how I operate my consulting business, which is similar to co-hosting, because all our clients' account right now is managed by my team to get them bookings in, right? That's the first thing we do. In co-hosting, you've got a little bit more. You have to make sure you do all the guest communication, but also you need to make sure that you are looking after cleaning and making sure everything is in place. But in return, you're being paid 5, 10, 15, whatever you choose as a part of co-hosting fee, which is also called a revenue share in the business. These are my reason for Dubai right now being the best place for co-hosting. Now, I actually worked out some figures based on the property, the 1-bedroom apartment, which I'm gonna do a 1-bedroom tour for you for this Airbnb property. I wanted to show you guys how incredible the units are here in terms of revenue making activity. But this property, I've worked out a figure for you guys, which I wanna share if you were doing a co-hosting, and that gives you an understanding of how many properties do you need to be able to succeed, what can you do in the higher season, and obviously you've also got the lower season. You've also got to look at the 12 months period, and really right now the amount of people or estate agents and real estate agents in Dubai promoting the property market purchase in a couple of years, everyone's looking like to make the best revenue out of their purchase, because these people don't live here. They're investing on properties. They want to come and stay in their property when they want, but then when they're not here, the best practice is to give them on co-hosting. So I worked out, and I did a previous video if you haven't watched it, that the revenue roughly for this month in Jan 2025 on this property was sat around £6,500. Now, if you look at the figure of 6,500 and a standard co-hosting fee, that's 10% of £6,500, which is £650 made on your revenue share with the landlord. So when you do a co-hosting revenue share, you're making 10%, the landlord's making 90% of the actual revenue. But in your case, just for me, like if I look at this property, if I'm booked here for 14 nights, there's a couple of people who stayed before me, there's a couple of people staying after me, 28 nights out of 31 nights, which isn't a bad occupancy rate, knowing how the Dubai market is right now, especially with the review this property has, the view this property has, the location it is. I'm pretty sure that this has been booked for 28 nights or even probably 30, but I'm going with the 28 at the moment. Now, based on that figure, so for you to make about £650 on higher season as a co-host, and let's call it 4 months, that is the lowest season of Dubai because it's extremely hot. I'm thinking actually, even if you gave the landlord a really discounted flat management fee of £150 or whatever that is, you are making a lot of money compared to what a lot of places around the world, if you did co-hosting, would, because you only need a couple of clients to be able to make a revenue like this. And if you're looking to make £3,000, for example, Jan all the way till, let's say, call it about even May, you've got good weather here. I know it's starts getting a little bit hotter, but you still can. And then you've got June, July, August, September, which is really, really hot. And then you've got October, November, December, going back into those kind of slow season, or actually the weather going slow, so the market becomes a lot busier. So the fact that the property will allow you to make, give or take, on an average, just under, I would say, £7,500, it is a very, very attractive to me right now, especially knowing that for one property, if you make £7,500 or £7,000 to £7,500, and you times it by 3 or 4 properties on co-hosting and really put your energy to this, you've got a great product that, you know, landlords will love. You don't have to worry about going and scaling up too quickly because you've got quality revenue coming to your business. You know, it is true that you don't have to live in Dubai. Now, obviously, my suggestion is always worth visiting the place, because you want to know the place, you want to understand the guest behavior, you want to understand why people come here, why people go to Dubai Marina or the Palm or Jumeirah. So all of these locations is worth knowing, so that without living here, you know what kind of guests to attract to that listing, but also for you to be able to run this business from anywhere in the world. Now, in my example, I worked first time in Dubai about 3 years ago for one of our biggest clients. He had just moved from the UK to Dubai, and he had, I think, just under 20 units when we first started in Dubai. And, you know, I launched a couple of his property, and I really got to understand how the Dubai market worked 3 years ago. I really took advantage of making my clients understand their guest behaviors. You know, a lot of time people are here thinking, okay, well, there's 2 nights, 3 nights. Like, for example, this property, most of these reviews they've got is like, oh yeah, we've stayed there for a couple of nights, I wish we stayed longer. And I'm probably one of their longest guests who's booked in for 14 nights for 2 weeks, because for me, I wanted to come in and live here in like downtown in Business Bay, to be able to walk into like the Dubai Mall, the Burj Khalifa, and be able to enjoy work throughout the day and enjoy the mornings and the evenings on what the city has to offer. So I have worked 3 years ago when I've never visited Dubai, and now I've come here and actually stayed here. I understand guest behaviors more. I understand the type of guest this building is attracting at the moment, and why people book this building, right? And all this kind of stuff that will allow you to become a better co-host for your Airbnb landlords in Dubai right now. And finally, the 3 systems I want to talk about. Now, the first one being contacts with housekeeping teams and cleaning teams here in Dubai, because one thing I've realized is when you're doing this work virtually and remotely, the understanding of if you've got a great contacts within those business model of cleaning and housekeeping team, there are the people who generally go in and clean property for Airbnb owners. And in some cases, they are basically your lead generation, right? Because the more people you speak to and say to them, hey, I will offer you X amount of referral fee, just to even give you some leads, you are in a great position, because these people are directly cleaning for the Airbnb owners, right? And that also, as a part of your journey, you're really leveraging the opportunity of contacts and systems in places. So that's number 1. Number 2, ways of outreach for Airbnb landlords. Now, where I said earlier, I gave you a little hint on how you can do that part right now, but not all cleaners will be able to firstly provide you with a lead, and secondly, they might not work directly for a Airbnb landlord. So I think with that being annoying, I get a lot of messages all the time saying, Piers, my Airbnb account got shut down, ID verification, especially if you live in Asian countries, Airbnb will ban you straight away. They will ask you for ID verification, and they will not let you into Airbnb, which again, I get a lot of people watching from different part of the world, and I have seen this happen with a lot of WhatsApp messages we get as a business. So without bothering and annoying Airbnb owners, please make sure you have a good system in place for outreach, so that you don't give up because you think things are not working, but also you're working without the issue that you're going to face, which is what 90% of people right now faces using Airbnb and sending messages to people. So 100% come out with some amazing plans for your outreach for your Airbnb owners. And lastly, the end-to-end service for your co-hosting client. Now, if you don't have that end-to-end service laid out, and actually some somebody can visually, if you're having a meeting with a landlord, you're showcasing them, this is where you are, this is what the journey will look like, and this is where we're going to take you, then only an Airbnb owner who's got a property like this, which is worth 2 million dirhams, will be able to trust you on their property and give you the property they want. And they want to see the exact way you're going to work and how you're going to fill this property, how you're going to streamline guest communication, how you're going to focus on guest experience, how you're going to focus on the cleaning management and make sure that everything is up to speed. So again, guys, it's such a great workflow, it's such a great remote booking opportunity and working opportunity, but again, at the same time, it needs a lot of attention. I've got 2-3 thoughts I wanted to share you about what's happening with Dubai and the way I'm working right now, and like just remote working in general, because if you're watching this video and you wanted to ever do this same thing, 3 things I really found was, one, I think for me the time difference was amazing, because like UK being 4 hours behind, I can wake up, I can go for a walk. I did a long walk today in Dubai Marina, came back and really kind of sat down, and I've already started doing work, and only the team and my clients have checked in, which in a result, I'm already ahead of everyone right now. So that was amazing to see how quickly I'm adapting to the time frame, but also how productive I'm getting with the workflow. Secondly, I realized that every business here with the speed of work, they're amazing, like Noon or Talaba as a part of delivery. To increase my productivity, I don't have to leave my house, and certain things get delivered in less than 15 minutes. And I'm not talking about food, I'm talking about the day-to-day needs of the business. I'm not talking about the food, I'm talking about the day-to-day requirement of life. Like if you want, like for example, at the moment I'm not used to the water drinking here, so I'm buying water. If I need water, I can literally order it, it'll be here in my doorstep in less than 10 minutes. There's places that you can buy amazing coffees and tea delivered. Actually, when something gets delivered, they don't taste amazing, but for example, I can get a lovely local tea, I can get a coffee that I like at any point without leaving my desk and without worrying about having to spend time just walking down the street. And that itself shows me how powerful these companies are, leveraging systems, processes, and people. And lastly, I think the weather, and I haven't been a big fan of worrying about or weather helps in terms of productivity and workflow, but actually the fact that I can sit down right now here doing what I like, but then go out to the balcony to just quickly 5 minutes of getting sun, still working on my phone and coming back into my desk really helps. So guys, I think again, for me, that's just more of a recommendation for anyone who maybe is thinking just to do a couple of remote working in different countries. Dubai at this moment, I think, is a great place to come in. If you're new to this channel, my name is Piers BK from GrowYourBnB.com. I live in the UK. I started my Grow Your B&B and Automate Your B&B in the UK, and right now I am here in Dubai for 2 weeks trialing out the remote working. Obviously I've done it many times in different parts of the world. However, like this time I came here, stayed in an Airbnb like a guest would. Generally, the guest behaviors I talk about in this channel. Now, I've made hundreds of videos in this channel to help people understand how Airbnb business works, but more importantly for people to understand there is a lot more opportunity in Airbnb business, be it subleasing, be it purchasing a property to Airbnb, be starting a cleaning company, be starting a maintenance company, or being a co-host, which I think at this moment is the most attractive workflow right now for many people around the world. So guys, now this is it for today. Now in about 4 minutes time, I'm actually going into a call with a consulting client in the UK, and we're just working around the calendar at the moment. UK right now has got the slow season, so we're looking at what we can do for them, how we can help them. But eventually guys, this is what the Airbnb model is. You can create your own opportunity, obviously making sure that you add value to your customer. So if you're new to this channel, please make sure you hit that like, subscribe and share, and I'll be back with another video soon.